where you open the door. I mean, by the door.
Are you looking for scissors?
No, she's looking for the other offering baskets. There's only one.
There's one right there in her chair.
Yeah, but
That's where I put my check, yeah.
that's where we put
Yeah.
it, but did you find them?
No.
They're not under there?
Nope.
Well, then I don't know what to tell you, because that's where they're supposed to be when they're put away.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning,
We
Dave.
are live now.
Here's the damn-
For those of you online watching the service, this is a different face up here today on the podium because Reverend Jan is taking a very much deserved vacation. So I'm stepping in for her today and covering. Next week it will be Reverend Marianne. She'll be up here speaking. She's been here before and I'm sure it'll be a real treat as well when she comes. So welcome and good morning, everybody. Well, I guess it's the afternoon, isn't it? I'm going to click on this really quickly. So we're Unity and we're at the Claremont Center of Spiritual Living. For those of you who might be visiting us for the first time in a long time, our place in Pomona, we sold that. We have some Buddhists now who are taking that space and using it well, and we now are at the Claremont Center for Spiritual Living meeting here. So welcome. It's good to see everybody this morning. I'm always happy to be up here. We are going to open up with a song, and I'm looking forward to doing it because I absolutely love this song. I'd never heard it before until this month when I had to learn it, and I've kind of fallen in love with it. So I'm going to pull the words up here, and I will need a little help with that. I apologize. I'm getting some support from our miracle working technician here because
Yeah.
otherwise we wouldn't be able to do this.
No, we wouldn't. There's a lot we couldn't do without him.
No, we couldn't. So this is Spirit-led and Spirit-fed, and I love this song. I am Spirit-led, Spirit-fed, everywhere and always I am Spirit-led, I am Spirit-led. Spirit-fed, everywhere and always I am Spirit-led, flowing like a river of peace. I am nature's wondering child, love cannot be added to me. I am made complete and glorified. I am Spirit-led. Spirit-fed, everywhere and always I am Spirit-led, I am Spirit-led, Spirit-fed, everywhere and always I am Spirit-led. There's magic in every day, inside a beautiful song, as I'm choosing my way. There's a voice inside to guide me along. I am Spirit-led, Spirit-fed, everywhere and always I am Spirit-led, I am Spirit-led, Spirit-fed, everywhere and always I am Spirit-led, everywhere and always I am Spirit-led. Everywhere and always I am Spirit-led. Thank you for joining me in that. Now I'm going to go back. I think we're going to do the Our Father, actually. Maybe I should just stay seated where I am. This is a pivotal prayer, I think. Jesus taught this prayer, I think, to get people to really shift their consciousness into a good place and to understand their true connection with God. And he was so intimately connected to God that he called God Father, which is really appropriate for today, for Father's Day. So as I lead this song, it's really nice to think about that. Think about the significance of his words why he shared them with us, and how that can relate to Divine Father. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. I never grow tired of that song.
No, it's beautiful.
Never. I think it's beautiful. I'm probably coming up at the wrong side, blocking everything, aren't I? That's okay. We have space for grace, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was raised Catholic, and of course we prayed that every single Sunday along with the Apostles' Creed.
Yeah.
I still remember it. I do. So we've got our announcements. And what's really neat about this community is there are a lot of them. And what I mean to say by that is that this is an active community within the community here as a spiritual community and outside in the greater Pomona area. And we can really thank Jan for that, with the way she's so involved in the world, doing her good. I really admire her for that. But first, the most important thing is that after every service, what's really wonderful about this community is that we have a dinner. And we have, I don't know if she's back there right now. So often Jennifer brings a full meal and
Yeah, she brings some, we share.
we share.
Different ones.
I brought grapes.
Oh, you
And
brought
Karen
grapes.
brought salad.
And there's chicken nuggets.
And there's almonds in a bag.
And Jennifer has a cake.
I brought my
And you got it, folks. We eat well here. So if you want a good meal, stop on by is what I say, because that's what Jesus did with his disciples many, many times. They broke bread together, and that's what we do as a spiritual community after every single service. Very special. Oh, and information. So Reverend Jan's on a road trip to Unity's convention in Kansas City as we speak. She left on the 9th, and she'll be coming back on the 25th. So I hope she learns a lot of new things and has a wonderful time while she's there. And just so you know, she has it here, there's going to be no Monday book study for obvious reasons, or a Wednesday meditation, because she's going to be real busy and is. There's, of course, going to be our Sunday services like today with our meals afterwards, which I was just lauding the joys of. And thanks to our team who are keeping things going. Jackie, you know you were supposed to do the daily reading, weren't you?
I will when you get
Yeah,
there.
okay, we're not there yet. I just want to make sure I don't leave anything out.
Oh, okay.
She'll be doing our daily reading and uncovering for today. And Jennifer, she brings our meals, as I was mentioning. Nancy's not here, but she has spoken here before, and she's quite a force. She's a wonderful human being, very on a very developed path with her guru. And then Reverend Marian Cordova Breen is going to be speaking next week, as I mentioned, and I know that's going to be good. So
Yeah, I bet it will.
definitely come for that. We have Audrey Zhang, who did music last week. Apparently, she's a really good pianist. And then we have Aubrey Schellbauer and others. So we've got a lot of people, as I say, that are really contributing well to this community, and it's what keeps it going and gives it the energy it has. And this is the book study information here. That'll be on June 30th. So if any of you want to take a snapshot of the information there and use that later. The book is Ishmael, a novel. And she will be starting that again, like it says on there, on the 30th. And the next meditation is going to be July 2nd, just so you know. That's the day. They're on Wednesdays at 6:30, and it's by Zoom. So, and I leave that information while I'm standing here for just a second, just in case anybody online wants to take a quick snapshot of that and have that ready on hand. Also, Compassion at Pomona. The next meeting for that is going to be Thursday, July 3rd at 10 in the morning. And this is one of those things I was talking about earlier that Reverend Jan is very involved in our community with. She really is doing good work out there. And if you want to be a part of this, setting an intention for a peaceful atmosphere in the city of Pomona, please come. You can learn things there. It's a wonderful. And June 17th, 6 to 7 p.m., we're having Upland Interfaith Council's Conversations About God. And we're going to have the Latter-day Saints missionaries are going to be talking that day. And they're going to be talking about being on a mission. And that sounds really interesting. I'm actually probably going to get that information later. I want to check that out. That's something I'd be interested in. Have a close friend who did his mission when he was younger, and he told me about it. Then, you don't want to miss this. So we have a Forward Progress Incorporated Inside Out art show coming up. Formerly incarcerated and local artists. This is all being put together and ran by Philip Santino of Forward Progress. I'm sure most of you have met him at least one board meeting. He is doing some seriously good work, working with the incarcerated. And this is a fundraiser to help people, in particular one woman who lost her home in the fires. So this is a great thing. And as you can see, it's going to be on Holmes Hall right next door to this building on Friday, June 27th, 4 to 9, and June 28th, 1 to 7. And there will be a taco truck. And I'm going to be at that, so I'm going to want to talk to people after this to see who's coming when, because I'd love to make a group effort on that. All right. So this is a time when we bring our tithes and offerings and also remember the things that we have given and are giving to this community and put these energetically forward as well and express our gratitude for it. So please, yes, I appreciate your coming forward, Liz, with the basket. Oh, we say it first. Okay. So we all say the blessing of the donations. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all I am, all I give, all I do, and all that I receive. And then we say often in my other church, we are prosperous now. Amen. I love saying that. And if you, as you see up there, it says that you can send a check by snail mail too. That's okay to do. And I was thinking they might have something to do online with that, but they don't have that on there. So you can send by snail mail if you want. We still do that.
They have what is that where you use your phone, but it's on the bulletin.
Oh, it's on the bulletin. Okay, so you can pay by Zelle or Venmo?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good to know.
I
Maybe
think
we need
it
to.
might be on the website too. I haven't looked.
Okay, so there is a way you can pay by Zelle or Venmo, but we don't have that up on the screen. But that is in our bulletins. That's good to know. So now is the time for the daily word. I was so worried about missing that. Didn't want to miss it. And Jackie is going to read our daily word. It's on Father's love. I bless those special ones who have shown me Father's love.
Okay, we can do if you want to sit down. Good morning.
Good morning.
And as Drak said, the words are Father's love. I bless those special ones who have shown me Father's love. A father's love is like no other. It gives me the warm feeling of protection and gentle guidance and inspires me to live up to its example. Father's love takes many forms. It might mean helping with homework, coaching sports, and teaching of all kinds. It might mean the wise counsel and loving guidance that prepares children to be self-sufficient and ready for the freedom and responsibilities of adulthood. A father's love may come from many earthly sources. No matter who showed me this love, its origin was divine. God is at the heart of all fathers' love. I pray that all fathers and father figures feel the appreciation of those they teach, love, and protect. May they know the love of God as they have brought it into the world. And from Isaiah 38:19, fathers, make known to children your faithfulness.
Like that.
Cute pictures John put on there.
Just making sure you're
Yeah.
doing great today.
I better, I don't want to face plant.
Oh. So this next song I'm going to do, I don't know if any of you are familiar with it, but I love it. It's Father, I Adore You. It's very simple. But I will need some technical assistance. Because each one of these verses, there's 3 of them, I'm going to sing 2 times through. And I may repeat the last one again, but I think we'll be fine at that point. Thank you. I appreciate it. And some of you may have heard this.
I have.
You have, you've heard it. Okay. I didn't turn this on, so I will turn it on now. So that you can hear it a little bit. I think a lot of Catholics may have heard this one. So it goes. And I will just say it one time through, and then we can sing it 2 times through with this, and 2 times for the next, and 2 times for the next. Just so you kind of know what's coming. So it goes like this. Father God, I adore you. Lay my life before you. How I love you. And that's how it goes. You ready? Okay, we're going to start. Here we go. Father God, I adore you. Lay my life before you. How I love you. Father God, I adore you. Lay my life before you. How I love you. Mother God, I adore you. Lay my life before you. How I love you. Mother God, I adore you. Lay my life before you. How I love you. Spirit, I adore you. Lay my life before you. How I love you. Spirit, I adore you. Lay my life before you. How I love you. We're going to do Father God again one last time. Father God, I adore you. Lay my life before you. How I love you. One more time. Father God, I adore with the words just a little different, but the big picture is all there, you know? Yeah. All right. I know I'm standing in front of everything here. Just dawned on me, I should probably just take that out. Yeah. Okay, and so I toggle over. Do I go small with that one and big with the other one? Or do I take it out of the mode of technical breaks after these messages? We'll be right back. I will need to go back to that one though. Yeah. No. Okay. There it is. Is that pulling up? I don't know what you did. You did it very quickly, but I'm sure. Thank you so much. What would we do without him? Everybody give this man a hand. He puts up with us, challenge people with technical stuff all the time. So I picked this picture and I put it in there because I saw his, I was looking around on the internet at different pictures and I looked up masculinity and fathers and divine masculine and I came across this picture and I thought, this to me looks like the most balanced and wholesome man I've ever seen as a father in this photo. It's very sweet. So as you have already guessed and already knew before you stepped in here, today is Father's Day. And Jan wanted me to talk about the gifts of our masculine essence. So a lot of what I'm going to talk about today really is divine masculinity and these components of that we all carry inside. And what that means, what that's like, and why that's important. Because it's very important. And I'd say right now, I'd say it's especially important because now we've got a lot of things going on in our world right now. Yeah, Jackie's nodding. Because the things that reflect a certain aspect of masculine energy that actually is not very healthy. It's a part of the patriarchal structure of our culture that actually is what I would call, some of it's the darker side of masculinity. And I think what's happened in some circles is that people have come to correlate masculinity in a negative way. I'm not saying all of us have, but that is a real reality for a lot of us, that masculinity is something that we look upon as not always so positive. But what I'll talk about today is the difference between toxic masculinity and divine masculinity, two different things. For me personally, growing up, I had a father who was not such a healthy figure. We'll just say that. There was abuse in my household, as all of you know. I've been very open about it. And so when I made the decision to transition from female to male, I felt guilty. I thought it was a bad thing because in my mind I correlated masculinity with something that wasn't so healthy. So I know there are other people out there in this world who probably share a story or two that might be similar to that. So that just makes this even more important to me. And also to highlight the beautiful fathers we have in this world too. We have a lot of amazing men doing great things in this world. We'll talk about the goodness as well. So I remember taking art history in, I was going to a community college in Portland, and I was only about 25 years old. I say only because I'm 58 now. To me, that just seems like only 25. I'd love to be 25 again. And I learned in this art history class that a long time ago, we actually were anything but patriarchal. We were a nomadic society that became more, we started settling down in one place and weren't moving quite as much. And they found a lot of art from that period. In fact, they found art from the Paleolithic period that dated from 30,000 years ago. And they found it in Willendorf, Australia. And I bet a lot of you have heard of this, the Venus of Willendorf. You can go to here. You've seen her? There's a piece of art that there's a lot of theories around. They think that maybe she was something that was used for fertility or a goddess. a symbol of fertility or a goddess. They have all kinds of ideas around her, but one of the ideas they had is that at one point we were more focused on the feminine in our culture because we were reliant upon the fertility of the earth providing for us, and we followed crops and we followed the rain. You know, this was a reality for us. So we weren't always the way we are now, but that was a very long time ago, if this is true. And I found that very interesting, that we haven't always been the way that we are now in such a masculinely focused, energetically society. And I'll talk a little more about what masculine energy is and why I would mention that. So the big question is, what is masculine energy? I think a lot of us probably have a good sense of what that is. The things that I found when I was looking online, because I have read so many things, I wanted to condense this for myself, was that masculine energy encompasses strength, action, rationality, integrity, and emotional endurance. And I love that emotional endurance is on there because there was a day when it wouldn't have been. And these qualities that are embodied in that promote leadership, protection, and purpose. Now, when we think of leadership, a lot of us probably think of somebody who's standing in the front, perhaps like I am, or who has some kind of title where they're in leadership, or somebody who gets to tell people what to do, or is in charge. But leadership does not necessarily mean that. We all lead a life. We all lead lives, and we're examples to all kinds of people, whether we want to be or not. We are all leaders, and when we carry these qualities inside in a healthy manner, that makes us good leaders of our lives, good leaders and examples for others. So that's what they're talking about. And one thing that's really important to note is these qualities that are embodied in this energy, anybody can embody. Take a look at Kamala Harris. Look at some of the female leaders that we can see. Think of some of them and you're like, think of your own mother. A lot of these women carry these same energies. It doesn't matter your gender. And when these qualities work in a synergistic way with feminine energy, which I'll talk about later, then you have a very balanced and healthy masculine energy, which I love to think about. So the masculine concept, it had its own sort of evolution. I'm wondering if we should turn the air conditioner on in the front, because I can tell people are getting really sleepy. It's probably warm up in the front. I can't tell because I get hot when I speak anyway. But if you turn that little thing around, it'll start up over there too. I'm sorry, folks. We try to keep it cool in here, but it doesn't always work. Thank you so much, Liz. I really appreciate that. It gets hot in here, and it makes me sleepy if I have to sit when I'm hot. I start to fall asleep. So the masculine concept has kind of evolved over the centuries. At one point, really, it was correlated with the sun, the sky, and authority. That was what we correlated it with. And over time, it gave rise to a lot of different spiritual movements and understandings that eventually encompassed a healthy sense of emotional intelligence, vulnerability, and the importance of the balance of feminine energies. So I'd like to show you some of these gods. I had so much fun finding these pictures of gods for different cultures and times in history. Because now in contemporary spirituality, our sense of masculinity is getting a lot different. Our sense of divine masculinity, it encompasses a lot of different things that are more balanced and ethical and holistic in their approach of what it means. So here's the first one. I met a little boy yesterday at the Pride Festival. He's 11 and he's a trans boy. And this is his favorite god, and I didn't know that. Zeus.
Oh.
Yes, and this is from Greek mythology. He's often seen as a symbol of authority and power. Zeus embodies leadership and strength and key aspects of the divine masculinity. Now the next one, I don't know if any of you have heard of this guy. It's Norse mythology. His name is Odin. I found some beautiful artwork on him. He's known for his wisdom, knowledge, and sacrifice. And he represents the divine masculine through his quest for understanding and his role as a protector. Isn't that beautiful with those crows? Look at this one. Now this is one I'm sad Nancy's not here to see, but she'll love it. This is Shiva. And this is a Hindu god that a lot of people in India actually worship and venerate. He exemplifies destruction for creation. And this is with the understanding that you must destroy, like till the field first before you can plant seeds for new. You got to destroy before there's new growth. And he's also seen as a symbol of meditation, yoga, and consciousness. Pretty cool. Now this next one I had not heard of. This is an African god from African mythology. His name is Shango. And in Yoruba religion, he is a deity of thunder and lightning, similar to Zeus, symbolizing strength, virility, and justice, key aspects of the divine masculine energy. Isn't that cool? And this one is indigenous here to this country, is the Great Spirit, also known as the Great Father. And he embodies creation, wisdom, and guidance. They're considered integral aspects of masculine essence in that culture. Okay, see. Anybody seen this one? Osiris, the Egyptian god? I've seen it too. He's associated with rebirth and the afterlife, and he embodies the nurturing and protective qualities of the masculine, which I really like. You see that there. The next one here, this is clearly Buddhist, and this one is Avalokiteshvara. I hope I said that right. And he is known in Tibetan Buddhism as Shanrazek, and he embodies compassion and mercy, showing a gentle and nurturing side of the divine masculine. So what you see here is when you get into these certain spiritual ones, they're actually embodying the nurturing aspect, which is a very balanced masculine energy. And the last one we all know, but I wanted to pick a picture that looked like he may have looked like back in the day, and this is Jesus. And he is seen as embodiment of divine love, sacrifice, and redemption, representing a compassionate and nurturing aspect of the divine masculine. I love that picture because they did a lot of research to see what Jesus may have looked like back in that time. So we have all these examples of what masculinity is and all these gods. And we've talked about qualities and all, but a question that I really love that was posed is, what does masculine energy feel like? So what that means is when you are in masculine energy, what would that feel like for you? What would that be? Because anybody can be in that strongly. It's a sense of empowerment and confidence and stability. And this really does help you to take charge of your life, being in that. And how it often manifests in life is through leadership, resilience, and emotional intelligence in the things that you do. And you know, the things that you do could be anything. You know, people think it has to be some big thing, but it really doesn't. It can be just by being an example in your community that promotes fairness or kindness. In fact, Jan embodies this a lot. With her work with Peaceful Pomona, she is moving in her masculine energy all the time. She's showing people what it means like to take action in the community, to lead with integrity, and to be compassionate, which is a very balanced masculine energy. Jan, is you have a very balanced leader in Reverend Jan. It can also be shown just through taking care of yourself by the way you lead your life in self-care. What it's about is taking that, having that thrust to move forward and to take action with integrity and to lead your life, or lead whatever it is that is right with that kind of integrity. So people who are moving in that masculine energy, they embody strength, purpose, and an unwavering integrity. And that sounds simple, but it's really a very powerful thing to move that way. You know, it really is. And that can be about protection and resilience. It can be about making decisive actions, fostering compassion, so many things. So many things. what's really embodied in this energy is embodying an unwavering conviction to show up this way. You know, it's in our service prior to this one, the focus was on authenticity and freedom, because this month we have Pride Month, we have Flag Day, we have Juneteenth on the 19th. We got a lot of things going on in this month. And so we are talking about showing up with authenticity and how that is a freedom. And when I'm looking here, talking today about masculine energy, when you show up in that kind of energy with authenticity, that's when it's balanced. So I just like to say that. So I've always wondered what traits there are when a person's embodying this divine masculine that I'm just going on and on about, and what that means. What that means. And there are 7 traits that go with this. The first one is what I mentioned, leadership. And that's guiding others with wisdom and integrity. And that, like I said, can be in any role and as any gender. I emphasize that. Resilience. Staying strong and steadfast in the face of adversity. That's a hot thing to talk about right now, isn't it? We've had a lot of protests going on. We've got a lot of things happening right now where people are showing up in this kind of energy. And there are some people showing up in the dark side of the masculine energy right now. This is a time where we've got a lot of masculine energy going around in the world of all kinds. Oh yeah. Another one is logical thinking. Making decisions based on reason and analysis. In other words, people who are moving in this kind of energy have a tendency to think before they act. They try to look at what could happen, how their actions are going to impact others. Protectiveness. And I like that this is up here because you've heard about the mama bear, and you've heard many times, and I'm sure many of you have experienced what it's like to feel like a protective mother. There's a nurturing element to it, and there's also a nurturing masculine energy to that too. So when a mother is in a very strong and protective mode for a kid, she's often leaning into her masculine energy, which I love. Emotional strength. Being able to manage your emotions with maturity and understanding. That means not just popping your lid, so to speak. Being able to self-regulate your feelings, your emotions. This is actually a masculine quality. It's not necessarily about stoicism so much as it's about being able to sit in your emotions and regulate them. The next one is purposefulness. Having a clear sense of direction and intent. I laugh because that makes me think about cats. I remember somebody told me once that female cats are wiggly and that male cats walk more in a straight line with their tail kind of straight. And I told her, oh, that's not true. And then one day I started noticing that female cats kind of go like this more, how they do that thing. And the male ones kind of walk a little more directly. Now they're both going to get from A to B, it doesn't matter. But they just have a different way of going about it. When I saw this purposefulness, I immediately thought of a male cat with its tail straight up going straight forward. The next one and the last one is accountability. Owning actions and their consequences. With the things going on in the world, there's so much I want to say to that, but I'm going to control myself. We've got a lot of things going on in our country right now where we see leadership where they are doing that and leadership where they are not. And everybody's aware of it, has a lot of strong feelings around it because we all understand that right now there's some things that we may need to balance out. So it's really important to look at this and ask ourselves, how are we doing with this kind of energy in ourselves? What are we doing with it? To kind of check in about that because there's so much of that going on right now. Clicked over there probably a little sooner than I wanted to, but before we get into that, we'll just go back. Well, I'll just leave it there. So I've mentioned that being healthy really is about having this energy balanced. It needs to be balanced in and of itself, but also it needs to be balanced with our divine feminine energy, because everybody's got a little of both and in different ratios. Everybody does. Some of us tend to move more in the masculine energy than others. Some others tend to move more in the feminine energy, but they're both absolutely necessary to be a whole and balanced person. So if that's really the case, the question is, so what is feminine energy? I'm kind of curious what anybody would have to say about that energy. Does anybody have ideas what it is? No? I don't have it up there. I moved ahead to a slide before I needed to. I can. That, I like that you said giving birth, because yes, giving birth is a female energy in that it is creativity. Because there is a creative energy that needs to go on to get pregnant and have a baby. So creativity is a very strong aspect of feminine energy. Some women choose not to have children, or they can't, and they take that energy and they will funnel it into other creative endeavors. And men do it too. When I am composing music, I am tapping into my female energy, that kind of creative energy. I'm also tapping into another aspect of femininity, which is intuition. Intuitiveness is a feminine energy. So creativity, intuitiveness, that is all feminine energy. And that needs to be present on some level with the masculine energy to balance it out. Because if we don't have that, we just have a whole bunch of thrusting energy and no intuitiveness to go with it, and no healthy compassion. There needs to be a balance that needs to be blended. And everybody has it. And part of becoming balanced in that is, if you lean more in one, finding ways to exercise how to explore the other one. I tend to lean a little more into the masculine. Sometimes I need to stop and just stop doing all the time and having goals and having this forward thrust to get things done, and just sit and play a piano piece. And when I'm done, I feel better. Because sometimes I do too much. I'm trying to constantly just move forward like that. So there's a balance. There's a balance that happens. And it's a needed thing. It's a needed thing. Ways to balance yourself out, other than me sitting and playing a piano piece, because we all have different things we do, could be meditation. And that takes on a lot of forms. A lot of people think you got to sit somewhere and say "oh" or something, and that's great, but sometimes it's okay if you take a walk. I dance. That helps me. That quiets my mind like nothing else. Being introspective is a really good thing. To just take the time to look inside and just see how you're doing. It's an important thing. For any kind of activity that's nurturing, for people who are moving more in masculine energy, it's a really good thing. And if just taking a bath is a nurturing thing, then good. It could be anything. Anything. One thing that I came across online that I really liked is what's up here, which you've probably already read, that talks about this kind of divine masculine energy in relationships, and I really liked it. And of course I brought our friend up there again, because I thought he was embodying it so well in that photograph. When a person is a healthy man, or a healthy person with masculine energy, or using that energy in a blended, healthy way, this is what comes in the relationships. They provide stability and security. They give people a sense of safety and reliability in their relationships. I'd love for you to, and we can talk about it afterwards, I'd love to hear people share with me how they think that they, or how they have done this for somebody. I did it for my sister growing up, and I still do. I'm 3 years older than her, and I didn't know until doing this that was something I was doing all those years for my little sister, who's now full grown and a mom and has her own kids, and she's doing this for others. And I did it for her. Practicing open communication. I would have never thought, but it is. Engaging in honest and clear conversations, facilitating mutual understanding. That is moving in healthy masculine energy. The next one is demonstrating emotional strength, which I did mention before, but it tells you how in a relationship by handling emotional challenges with maturity and fostering a supportive environment. And I really like that too. And I've done that a few times, I can honestly say. I'm happy to say. It's not always been the case, but now more. Exhibiting leadership qualities. I'm still learning this. Guiding the relationship with wisdom and integrity without dominating or controlling. So I'll stop right there. Because when I was online, I was on a site where I got a lot of these ideas. And there was one part that was in there that said, is masculine energy narcissistic? I kid you not, it said that in there. So I look at that because there are some people who experience masculine energy as being dominating or narcissistic or a bully in the toxic version of it. But this is the healthy version of it, where it's that. It guides the relationship with wisdom and integrity without controlling. I love that. The next one is showing protectiveness, which I mentioned. Caring for your partner or your best friend or even your best furry friend or your plants. It doesn't matter. It's something you're caring for. Caring for their well-being while respecting their independence and autonomy or whatever their needs may be. That's a good one. And encouraging growth and development. Supporting your best friend, your partner, your dog, your bird, all of the things you love and support. Supporting their growth and celebrating their achievements or the way that they are, their being. And the last one is balancing energies. This one says complementing the divine feminine energy and creating a harmonious and balanced relationship dynamic. Maybe I need to get one of those cats that does this. Walks in a non-straight line. I just laugh at that because it's so real. It's so real. So the last thing I just want to talk about, and I know this is a lot of stuff, but I found it pretty fascinating. I hope it's not too boring. I know you're trying not to sleep because it's so hot in here. When people are in a healthy place with masculinity, these are the things that happen. This is what awakens within them. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever been in a place in your life where you've learned to embrace responsibility. I know I have. There was a time when I couldn't, responsibility was scary for me. It was scary because that meant, what if I made a mistake and somebody saw that, if I took the lead or if I took responsibility? But part of growing is stepping into that kind of energy, that masculine energy, and doing it. So that means owning your life, your choices, and their outcomes. And being okay with it if it looks a little messy, It's about moving away from blaming external factors and understanding that you can shape your life. And I'm still figuring this one out a little, to be quite truthful. And I think a lot of people who've had some hardships earlier in life, it takes them a little longer because they need to kind of heal the other things. When you've been a victim, you need to learn that you're not anymore and that you have a choice. And so when you step into this masculine kind of energy, it's healing and it's a sign of growth when you embrace that. The next one is growing your emotional intelligence. And that means this is really key to understanding yourself. It's really important. And it helps you understand other people when you can grow into that kind of intelligence. It involves recognizing, understanding, and managing your feelings, your emotions. That's huge. It really is. I think a lot of people walk around not knowing that they're struggling with this one. I know I have. It takes a lot. This trait allows for better communication, conflict resolution, and deeper relationships, all essential aspects of the divine masculine. And I will say that Jan is doing a lot of work in Pomona with her work with Peaceful Pomona, fostering that. She really is. This next one can be hard for some of us. I know this one has taken me a long time, practicing assertiveness. I had a hard time learning how to do that. It's taken some time. It's about expressing your needs, your opinions, and feelings in a direct, honest, and respectful way. There were some people when they were taught that you were should shut up and put up, quite frankly, and that you're not supposed to complain. Sometimes this takes a little doing to kind of figure it out. A lot of practice. It's a balance between aggression and passivity is what it is. And when you can find that sweet spot, you're doing great, you know? By being assertive, you respect your boundaries and those of others, fostering a sense of mutual respect and understanding. This next one is developing rational thinking. Now, I don't know what you think of that. I have some friends who think that there's too much of this value, but I think there's the holistic way to look at this one. It involves making decisions that are just well thought out and logical. Not meaning anything has to be perfect, just giving it a little thought before you do something. It's about analyzing situations objectively and weighing the pros and cons and making decisions based on facts and not impulses and emotions. It's a way of thinking that helps problem solving. And the last one is leadership qualities, fostering those. Because like I said, we all lead a life. Every one of us. Do we want to lead our life, or do we want our fears or somebody else leading it for us? It's a big step sometimes to step into that. It involves setting a positive example, motivating others towards a common goal, and providing guidance and support. And sometimes it involves doing that for ourselves. Because how can you do it for anybody else when you don't do it for yourself first, right? Good leadership in the divine masculine sense is about integrity and compassion. The ability to listen and understand the needs of others. But first, to be able to listen to yourself and understand your own needs. It's a really big thing. Sounds simple on paper and up on a PowerPoint, but learning that in life, it's a lifetime thing. It's a lifetime. So I'm going to stop this here. And I know I'm going to need to switch to the other PowerPoint, so I'm going to do that for now. Hopefully I can manage this. If I can't, I'll go crying to David back there. And as I'm doing this, I would just invite people to really sit with, okay, I don't have that, kind of sit with and think about how you've been an example for others in these kinds of energies, people you may have helped in this kind of energy or protected. Or things that you may have grown into in yourself when you explored this kind of energy now that you've seen what it is and what it looks like in life. I think this is such an important thing to look at. And I'd like to close this with a prayer of intention. So we know that God really is present in all things. No matter how they look, there is this thread of energy that is spirit, that is moving through all things. There really is. I'm a piece of that picture. Standing up here, my voice, my intonation, the words I've shared, something has moved through me so that I can speak them. And part of that something is that divine masculine energy that is free and available to all of us and moves through each and every one of us. What a gift that is. So we understand collectively that this energy is something all of us embody. All of us embody. It's real. And that we all have this given to us as a gift that balances out and makes us who we are in this world, as leaders, as friends, as caregivers, all of these things. We're grateful to know that we all carry this energy and that it can be exercised in such a beautiful and healing way. It's a gift. So on this Father's Day, we all celebrate the energy of the Father that we each carry inside that does its good in this world. We take this understanding with ourselves, knowing it's made real in our recognition of that and in our gratitude. And so it is. Amen. And I appreciate all of you toughing it out with me because I know it's warm in here. Some of you are real tired. And I just think it's such a significant day for all of us to look at this time in history. Well, let me see if this works out right here. And given it's 1:30 and I know it's warm in here, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it. I could play something. I have several piano pieces, but I'm not going to do it to you. So what we'll do is we'll speak this together, and then we will close with our closing song. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. So please, let's gather together and sing our peace song. I'll go to the keyboard right now and do that. Oh, you brought my music. It helps when you have it. Unless you're really good like Julie, she just pulled it right out of her hat. She's amazing.
Yeah, I kind of agree with her, but you know I have a little hearing problem.